Calling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now here's your hosts, Gonzo, Nerd, and Mizzy.
And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
I'm Captain Mizzy.
And we're on episode 308. Today's episode is we're going to be talking about the Warcrow starter box that came out, plus everything else that came with it that I bought. And we're also going to be talking about doing community work, not only with each other, but friendly, and how we can help each other out. Because these are trying times, and we all need to look after each other. Before we do that, let's go ahead and get to the business. We want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting our channel and putting everything out there. Make sure you go check their website and check out what they have, and you can find out they got some cool new products going on and some new stuff. We want to thank Cuttlefish Colors for making of awesome glazing and
Sketch and glaze paints.
Sketch and glaze. I always want to say glazing first, although it's sketch and glazing paints. You can find them on the Creature Casters website. I want to thank Turbo Dork for sponsoring the channel. If you like turbo shifting and metallic paints, they are the people to do it. And they have some of the best bottles in the market right now. Their new paint bottles are stupid amazing. I want to thank Midnight Heroes for sponsoring the channel. They are doing a complete rebranding right now, and they're doing some new stuff. They're moving away from being a miniature company to being a miniature game company. So they're working on it. We want to thank also Creature Caster for sponsoring the channel, giving us some really cool STLs and models and stuff for us to play with. And also the makers of Judgment, which if you haven't tried that game out, you should. It's a lot of fun. And if you like board miniature games, I guess you want to call it, because it is played on a hex mat type thing. It is well worth it and well the fun. And, you know, since you only have to have 7 miniatures, you know, that's kind of where we're going with it.
And Minotaurs.
And Minotaurs, which was a topic I had a very good discussion with about new games coming out, because there's a couple other new things, and they were talking about model counts and things like that. I was talking with our good old friend Seth Cohen about miniature gaming, this thing, because I was looking at some schedules, and I was noticing that certain conventions, I'm not going to name conventions, larger conventions, their miniature gamings are not selling out now. So it's kind of weird. And him and I got into a miniature discussion, and he asked some stuff about Warcrow. But other than that, we got a lot to talk about. Do we have any shout outs this week, Mizzy?
We got one that I am aware of. Duke Fakir. He was the last surviving member of Motown.
Okay. Kind of ahead of my time too. So I mean, I know who you're talking about, but you know, it wasn't something I listened to a lot. But I mean, he must have been pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he was born in 1935, so math. 88.
Yeah, so pretty much up there. Do we have any other shout outs? Anybody? Bueller? Okay.
Not that I have.
Let's get to like the very, very, very most interesting part of our conversation that everybody is looking forward to. And if you're in there listening, and if you're listening to us live, you can also tell us, what are you drinking tonight? Let's go with Mizzy. What's your drink of choice tonight?
I am hydrating because it is hot as balls outside with Gatorade, Glacier Freeze flavor.
Oh, so you don't call it by the color like most of Rails does? Blue.
Like, there's so many blues.
There are a lot of
There's
blue
light
Gatorade.
blue. There's dark blue. There's teal. There's there's so many blues.
There's blue cherry. I am drinking basically the Aldi version of ice, strawberry kiwi.
I'm doing the good old
Starts-
water because I am trying to finish up the rest of my medication. For everybody to know that I got strep and the medication I was taking was not working, so I had to get a bunch of shots and I
Oh
had to
no.
get 2 different antibiotics, and so I'm finishing up my last round of antibiotics. I got like a day and a half left of antibiotics to take, so I'm just gonna keep on hydrating, so I don't have to
Oh, the
worry about it.
hydrates.
Yeah. So other than that, guys, as usual, one of the things that we always talk about is about making sure we say something when we see something, even if it relates to each other, because we've had to do that and call each other out on stuff before. Um, and nothing bad, just like, hey, this is what's going to go on. But like I said, if you see something, you need to say something, um, friend or not friend. If you hear something, you need to say something. And if you feel something, you need to say something too, because some people may not know the way that you're feeling on things.
Yeah.
But you definitely need to voice it, type thing, especially if it's a misunderstanding or something. Um, but like I says, if you can find someone, if you can do something about it, do something. If you can't, find someone who will, because we've got to start doing that. We got to start calling out the bullshit, calling out the problems, calling out the things that are going on, and just making sure that we're taking care of each one of us. Um, so let's just make sure we get a little bit tighter on that and help each other out. Cheers.
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 My
So-
body loves this shit.
Hydration.
So this last week, actually on Friday, I got the Warcrow. I'm gonna keep it on this screen for a bit until we get to the miniatures and such. But Warcrow is a new game by Corvus Belli, which is their new fantasy style game. It is not a reskin of Infinity, which I had that discussion with somebody because they were like, "Oh, when the original was going to happen, people were like, are y'all just going to reskin Infinity to a fantasy version?" And they didn't, which is great. But they came up a whole new rule set, and everything started happening. And Mizzy and I have actually played a couple of games and tested the stuff out with proxy miniatures, and because they gave us the rules for free, like a month or so ago, give or take.
Sounds right. Yeah.
And so we were
At least a month, maybe.
Yeah. And so we were interested. I've done a couple of demos of it. I did a demo 2 years ago when they were still fleshing out the rules. And then I did another demo and then, of course, demoed and watched at Adepticon. And I was like, I can get into it because I was questioning them about, how many models are there? How big is this going to be? And they're like, it's played on a 3x3. And I'm like, okay, that's very easy. You can put that on any coffee table or, kitchen table, no problem. And then they were like, it's going to be 20 to 25 models, give or take, because you have to buy your army. And I was like, okay, I can get into it and test it out and see if I like it or not. And Mizzy and I tested it out, and we really liked it. We had a lot of fun with it. We had to use our own dice, but use the little chart to figure it out because it has proprietary dice. But I got the stuff in the bundle in, which is the book, the 2-player starter, and then the special edition miniature that came out, type thing. And so here is the core rule book, and it is over 300 pages. It is
Oh, wow.
367 pages. And 295 pages of it is lore.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is a crap ton of lore.
That's a lot of lore.
There's a lore on the world, and then they give you lore on each individual faction. For people that know the factions that are in there is the Mount Haven, which is the dwarves. And I'm going to screw up pronouncing a lot of these things. There's the Hegemony, which is it's kind of like a conglomerate of elves, dwarves, and humans, type thing. And then there's the Northern Tribe, which is the orcs with shapeshifters and such. Then there is um, the wood elves, the Seyanane. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna butcher it, but they're wood elves, practically. Um, there's the Scions of blah, 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 which are demons. I don't know how to pronounce them either. Um, there is the Feudum, which is humans and pretty much like a medieval fantasy humans, but also very religious. That was that bard with the falcon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's the Feudum.
Okay.
And then Mount Haven, of course, which is the dwarves. And the interesting part about this book is every time I get a core rule book, they usually have stats for models in here. They didn't put the stats of models in here. So you
Maybe
don't
so that
know.
they can change as or update as they need to as they work out rules and
Well,
stuff.
they give you cards for your miniatures when you play them, but there's no stats for models in the book, which I thought was very
Gotcha.
interesting. Because even the two-player starter, you don't have it. You have like they give you, when you get to the rule book section, there is a picture of a card, and they tell you what each little section is. Like here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so you can learn what the thing is. And
Hmm.
the rules are pretty laid out pretty well. They flow and everything right. It's not like you're jumping back and forth. Like one of the things that Mizzy and I were having a problem with Shatterpoint was you had to go back and forth quite a bit in the rule book in different sections to find things. And this one you
Mhm.
didn't. Um, and it's laid out pretty well. It's got nice pictures. There are some stuff they're going to have to errata because I was looking at this and I go, this is not correct, but I think they didn't catch it until after um, the print,
Mm.
but it's not bad. It gives you a complete rule set. It tells you how to do everything. It does it all, in step by step. So then they got like a little small section that tells you, you know what all the different keywords are, like what preferred range, scout, elite, what all that stuff does. Um, they give you a good section on terrain and the sizes of the terrain and how much of terrain you should put on the table, which was good. Um, then they talk to you about like different scenarios, and they've got quite a few different scenarios in here, and they tell you how to set them up and how to win and how to play. And there's one, two, three scenarios in here, and each one of them is different. Which I thought was really good. It wasn't just like we just move the objectives around. It's like here's the one that's a basic objective. Here's one that has something different that you have to do something different, and here's one that's kind of a little narrative thing where this fog comes in and does stuff, which I thought was pretty good. The book is solid. The pages are good. The art is good. They've got some models in here that you haven't seen, but they're showing them bit by bit. Story's good, writing's not bad. Um, I immediately went to the elf section and read about the elves, and the elves are really cool. The wood elves, I really like them. There's a lot of maps. If you like maps, there's a lot of maps in here, so you can read things up and check out stuff. But overall, it was a solid book. I'm glad that they did a book. I know it's harder and harder to do books, but Corvus Belli has money to make books, so really, really good. I really like this. Mizzy, I'll drop this off on Monday for you so you can look at it and read it too.
Lore! Give me the lore.
Yeah. I didn't read up on any of the orcs. I wanted you to read up on the orcs and you can tell me the history, but I read up on the
I'm
elves.
excited.
So we'll get that.
I'm a nerd out so hard.
Yeah, you can. Maybe if you want to come by early, you can get it from me before work since you're off on Monday.
Okay.
So the interesting part was.
Hi, Cookie. We are talking about
Hi, Cookie.
Warcrow.
That was Warcrow. So I bought the 2-player box set, and then I also bought the special miniature that comes with it. The one thing that's really good was the Warcrow 2-player starter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an introductory booklet, and it has the rules. It has a little bit of fluff lore in here about the two factions that are in the box, which is the Hegemony and the Northern Tribes. And then it has how to play. Same rules that are in the big book that are in this book. Excuse me, but they give a little bit more examples of turns. So they're like, you know, they just do a turn-by-turn analysis. Turn one, these people moved up, they got to this, they did this, here's some rolls, and they give you like examples and everything of what's going on.
Mm.
And I thought it was pretty good. And they teach you how to play, and give you the rules. It does give you a cheat sheet on the back of like common things you want to look at, which I thought was really good because I've been looking for a cheat sheet like, hey, how do we set up the game? Instead of looking through the rule book, just give me a cheat sheet. And they did.
We love a cheat sheet for
Oh, yeah.
sure. Make things
Oh, yeah.
easy.
The one thing I really, really liked about this is Winds from the North is the title of this new thing. And they give you one, two, give me a second, three scenarios that are actually narrative campaigns. And at the back of the book, you keep track of your narrative campaign and you determine the winner. You get to read the story of what happens when it wins. So the first three starting scenarios are a narrative campaign that you play through, and it teaches you how to play the game at the same time. It teaches you here's the start of the game. You don't get XYZ, but you get ABC. Models like you can't. I think the first one I haven't read them because I want to kind of be surprised, but like in the first one, characters cannot join units in this scenario.
Okay.
So all the characters are not able to join units. And the fences do not block line of sights, and units can jump over them. So I thought that was, and they do that for each scenario, has a little different thing. And then you've got like creatures that could be in it, or, roaming monsters and different stuff. I haven't read the scenarios except for that first one because I was kind of curious. And I didn't even read how to play it because I want to be surprised. Because Mizzy and I are going to do the scenarios. And we are going to take pictures and do it all and, talk about it and do a big thing about it. Type stuff, but we got to get the models painted up first. And what's interesting is they tell you how to set up the tables for each scenario, which is good because one of the things that they did is in this box set. I'm going to go and switch over to the paint cam so I can see all the cool stuff. Let me
Show us the goods, Gonzo.
yeah, let me zoom out because we're going to have a lot of stuff to show. So inside of the box came some cardboard cutouts so you could make terrain. So one of the things, let me put this over here so I can see it instead of looking back and forth, is they gave you cardboard terrain to put. And so you get these little cardboard walls. They just set up like this. Can't see through them, type thing. Oh,
okay.
So these were pretty cool.
Those are cute.
Yep. Then you got a different set of walls, which is these little wooden barrier walls, wooden fences.
Okay.
Type thing. I'm probably going to glue these in there so they'll stay in there because they don't stay real quick. But,
Yeah.
just little cardboard fences, and you get 4 of them. You got some flat 2D terrain, which, you just pop it out of the cardboard. Here's like a boulder, and then you get this one's got like a barricade fence on it, which if anybody watched our other one, I actually 3D printed this. So I have that. And then there's like rough terrain. And then there's forest on the backside. Forest on this one. And then, like ruins on the back of it. Then there's a little bitty water and then another forest. Then you get 2 buildings, which I thought was interesting. They give you this small little shack that you can, and it's not glued. It's all just like popped together type thing. And it's pretty sturdy cardboard. It's not, super weak or anything. So it's not going to fold or anything when you put models around it. So, I mean, it's good sturdy cardboard. And it's just a little small shack. And then they gave you a big house. And you get this big house with a chimney type thing. And I mean, they're all good size. Looking at the terrain that they give you and the terrain that um, comes with the box and that they want you to use inside of the scenarios, it looks like around 12 to 14 pieces of terrain on a 3x3.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, that's a pretty good amount because you think about the two hard walls, the four fences, two buildings, and then four pieces of terrain. It's about 12 to 14 pieces. What I thought was very interesting is they always tell you to play on a 3x3, but they actually give you a mat. It's a little cardboard. It's a little fold out. I'll turn the camera so you can kind of see. A little mat.
Oh, nice.
They give you a little mat to play on, so you get a mat type stuff. But I mean, I don't even know if this is 3x3, but this is the one they want you to do the scenarios, and it looks like it. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's just a little folding mat type stuff. But I thought that was good because that means that they're not expecting you to have a mat already. So.
Oh yeah, it's a starter box, so they're giving you stuff to start.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Let me see. I'm gonna measure this real quick. Type thing, because I don't know if this is a full 3 foot by 3 foot. Oh, dang it. It is not. It's like 22 and a half. So it's not a full 3x3. It's just 22 by 22. So type thing. So not a full, but it is the mat they want you to use for the scenarios that are in the core book or in the book, in the 2-player book. So you've got your mat to do that. So no big deal. And then the terrain to go with it. For people that don't know, every model comes with a stat card. I've got mine in like little plastic sleeves. And of course, they tell you what they do and how much they cost. So for people, here's the cost per model and how many you can have. And then they got their movement and their abilities and things that they can do. I think it's in English and in Spanish. This is these are the hegemony guys, and it's the Frostfire Herald, which is your spellcaster. You got your War Surgeon, which for people that don't know, certain models can join units, and the War Surgeon is a model that can join units. The top part is if he's walking around by himself or herself, because this is a female character. And the bottom part is when they join a unit. So if the War Surgeon joins the Bucklermen, you just take and put them like this, and you use the bottom half of the card. So, a neat little thing. It's not anything great, but it makes it a little bit easier so you don't get confused. I am in these plastic sleeves for now, so I don't have to damage them because I'm moving around a lot. Then you get two versions of a high command, which is aka generals, and you've got a named version and then like a generic version, and depending on what it is and how you want it, point value, you can only have one high commander. So another interesting thing was they give you measuring sticks, because the one stride is 15 millimeters. 2 strides is 30 because everything's on a 30 millimeter base, and they give you measuring sticks so you can measure out stuff. Because like some spell, some things reach out 20 strides is what they call it. So you get that. And I believe Warsenal is going to be making acrylic versions of all this stuff, so we have like cooler versions.
That's going to be really nice.
Yeah, they always make really good stuff. They have the turn tracker, so you can track everything that happens, because in this game, the scenario depends on how many rounds it goes. And certain spells Like certain spells you cast won't go away until they go to like turn 5. So you move it around and then the spell goes away. So I mean, this is a way to track it all. Um, Pretty easy. Mizzy and I tested this out when we were doing things, and we actually did one thing wrong. They told us that it was three, three rounds is a 3 turns is a round, and we went 1, 2, 3, and then went back to 1, 2, 3. And you're not supposed to. You're supposed to go 1, 2, 3, then move it to the 6, and then do 4, 5, 6, because some events that happen cannot trigger until like 8, or different
Oh.
things. That was the one thing I learned that we were trying to
Okay.
figure out.
Technicalities. It was
Yeah.
just a test.
And I guess we're all new to this, so we're still learning. So we may be wrong on certain things too. So we'll have to wait and see.
That's totally okay.
Type thing, and no big deal. So you get the turn tracker, and then of course it wouldn't be a Corvus Belli game without a crap ton of tokens and dice.
Thanks, Goblin.
I did a 3D print of their. This is their moving widget. Because when you move a character, you can use this to put it down. Because in this game, you move from front of base to back of base. When I bring a miniature out, I'll show that. So I'll keep one of these aside. But here are the dice. They are proprietary dice type thing. They're all D8s.
Math rocks.
So you got your math rocks.
With hieroglyphics.
Yeah, with different symbols, and the symbols do different things. Depending on how you're rolling, you get a full set. So you might want to, you'll if you don't buy the two-player box set, you'll have to buy your own. And they actually have a different version that comes outside of the box set, and they're frosted dice, so they got the little frost coloring on them. And it's the system is pretty simple, so it's not that big of a deal. But all the tokens, here's a demon that is part of that is actually a model in the Scions, but is also in the scenarios. All this is cardboard type thing, so you use it, and some of this stuff is like objectives, which I printed my own objectives, but you have all your tokens that you can use: health, damage, stress, everything you need. So they've got everything there. And whatever needs to be done. Yeah, I already have to buy more dice set. And they do sell, like I said, they sell the frosted set separate. I don't know if you can buy it yet or not, but I know there's a frosted set coming out. It'll probably be at Gen Con. If you're going to Gen Con, you'll probably have this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Warsenal already had some acrylic token sets there. But it'll be interesting to see. But of course, they give you all the tokens, so you don't have to worry about it, which is cool. I did test out to see if the 3D stuff I printed matched, and I was right. It did work. So,
Yay!
Perfect.
So now we get to what everybody's really been looking at is the miniatures. Let me zoom in because I know people want to get a really good close up of these. So, their miniatures are not metal. They are done with COcast. For everybody to know, COcast is a newer thing that's coming out where you can pretty much print your own models. You buy a machine and you know how to do it, and you've got your own models. Of course, I put together the hegemony stuff first because that's going to be playing, so I could do the basing and prime them. But I'm going to do this because Mizzy wants to see all this stuff because Mizzy is playing it. The special edition miniature was a bear from the Northern Tribes that actually works with the orcs. So I can get this in. Yeah.
That's a beautiful bear.
Bear.
So
Look
the
at the details on that baby.
He has nipple pierce, so
Yeah, you do.
the details on this are really good. For the COcast stuff, I was really worried about the details. Mizzy's going to clean that part off right there. But you've got
That's
good
fine.
details on like the horn. Everything's got really good details on it. And everything. The issue that I've been having with them since I put them together, I didn't find there wasn't a lot of mold lines, which was good because when I first got the COcast stuff that they gave me, the mold lines were really, really, really bad. So these guys know what they're doing because they have to do it in-house. The one thing I'm finding is this right here, gaps.
Yeah.
So, you'll have to either fill it in or just paint it. They're not too bad, but there are gaps. Like you can see, this area right here, there's a gap, and then there's a gap in
Yeah.
the arm. And you may not, once you prime it and get paint on it, it may not make anything. It may not even care. But so this is everything so far has been produced is on a 30 millimeter base. Let me see. Hold on. This is War Machine model, and this is a 40 millimeter base. So they're quite a different size, but not horrible. Although the orcs are much bigger, type thing.
Because orcs.
But I mean, the
Big
detail's
beefy
really
boys.
good. I mean, they've got, you've got this, you got nice detail inside of, the armor and the chain. So the detail is there. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's White Mane, and White Mane is either a solo or it can be attached to a unit. And you can see that there's going to be a little bit of flash inside this eyeball that maybe you'll have to get. But
It's fine. That's what
I
tweezers
mean,
are for. It's fine.
yeah, nothing that was a problem. You do have some, where you have to. The thing about this is since it's a resin and the mold is there, you're going to have to shave around the areas to get everything to fit properly. This one wasn't too hard to get together. Not a big issue, not a big problem on this one. Good detail. Like I said, I mean, you've got good enough detail. Like, I mean, the armor and stuff is really good. These, horns, I guess you want to call them, whatever they are, turned out really good. You have to do a little bit of cleanup, but nothing bad. And then you have the Evoker, which is their spellcaster. Really
That's the
good.
one where I blew my head off.
Yeah, this is the one that, still's got good detail. I mean, you've got different things, on the backpack. There has to be a little bit of cleanup because there was a little bit of flash over here, but nothing that's, maybe outrageous. This one was kind of interesting to put together, but wasn't bad. I had to do a little bit of shaving of the models, but like this, you can see the mold, you can see where it's not put together correctly on the head. So you'll have to fill that in. And then I'm going to show the basic troops. These are the troops. Here's the leader of the unit. And for this army, you have to, everything's done from the leader model. Line of sight is done there. Movement is done from the leader model. And this is the leader of the hunters. I actually tried to do a little bit of gap filling right here for you so I could see some stuff because there was that. And I tried to do a little bit of glue gap filling just to test it out. But this is the leader model. Here are the basic troops that come with it. And this is one of my favorite ones because of just the pose.
Fun.
Yeah.
I like the pose. The pose is a really nice pose. Everything comes with almost a tactical rock, which is kind of a... but the good thing is the tactical rock, even though it's there, they give you a blank base, so you can make whatever you want with it.
Even though it's got a tactical rock, it still makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like MCP's tactical rocks. You're putting them on a street. You're like, okay. Another orc, really good pose, really good face, nice details. I was, like I said, one of my main concerns was them doing COcast was not getting really good details, but that was there.
Obviously, they did it.
Yeah, which is good. One of the orc sword broke, and I had to glue it on top. So Here's another one. I really like this pose. And this guy's face is really cool. Let me see if I can get it. He's got like a scar. Let me see if I can get really, really close. There we go.
Nice.
Because his scar on his face is really done really well. There you go. He's got a broken tusk and everything. So it's done really well. There's got a good, they've got good poses, good detail, which I was really impressed with. And I like him because he's got a really big sword.
Sword.
Now you can see right here, this, where I'm sticking my finger at, is a break in the model. And it's not bad. It's just you may want to fill that in. You got a little bit of flash on the back of this arm, the mold line, but that was like the only one that I really saw that on. And
Not
then
terrible. Easy fix.
Yeah, then you've got the leader model, the high commander, and the detail was really good on this. This came in a lot of pieces. The arm was one piece. This arm was one piece. The back and the cloak were two separate pieces, and the helmet and the tusks were each different pieces. So he was quite a few pieces. This one I had to do a lot of shaving, the best way to put it, because all the pieces fit together, and like this helmet was not sitting down correctly inside of the groove, and so I had to kind of chisel out and dig out and carve off the back of his head more and carve out a little bit underneath the skull just to get it to sit down. But it eventually came out okay. No big deals, not a huge problem. But like I said, still good detail. Gonna have to do, like I said, maybe I'll have to do some cleanups, but I wanted to get them put together for the show. And then I decided to do the hegemony, and I'm like, I'm gonna put them together. I'm gonna prime them so I can start painting them. And so here's the basic troop, and I know it's gonna be a little hard because I did prime them black. But my one big concern I have a little bit right now is this swords. These swords are very, very thin, and I'm afraid they're gonna break.
That did look a little too flexy for comfort.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned on really thin stuff. Detail wise, models are good detail. There's no major issues with the detail. So I can get a little bit better. Yeah, so you can see the thing. I'm not going to paint them up per the paint scheme that they've got in the book. I'm going to do a dry brush of metal on them, and then the main armor is going to be black, but like the boots are going to be brown. The pants I'm going to do a purple. So it'll be a black, metallic, brown, and purple type theme. So,
okay, nice.
So no big deal. That's one. Here's another troop, and they all have unique poses. None of them are the same, so you're not going to have you're not going to be regimental painting type thing. So everything's going to be fine. This guy's got a good little pose.
The varied poses make a world of a difference on the table.
Yeah.
It helps you tell them apart. It helps kind of, I don't know. I like variety.
Yeah. Another pose for my basic troop unit.
Strike a pose.
And then the leader of the unit, which you can tell because he's got the plumage on the back of his body.
Plumage.
Nice.
To do a little bit of priming on him because I missed the little spot there, but no big deal. Got to put a little bit of primer on him. He's got a big old mustache and beard. You can see. Let me see if I can get a close up on his face.
That's a nice stash.
There you go. Then one of my favorite models is the War Surgeon. As I knock over the whole thing.
Ooh, the Plague Doctor.
Yeah. She's really
Ooh,
cool. I like her.
Plague Doctor.
You could totally use her as a D&D character.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I would name her after the Plague Doctor at my local Ren Fair, which is Dr. Malpractice.
I really like this
I love
model.
it.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get your Elven Wizard, which he's not on a plinth, but he's on. Try to get a good focus on it. There, he's got a book, and the book's floating in the air.
That's awesome.
This one had a little bit of problem with the head. The head wasn't molded correctly because it was the neck, so I had to do a little bit of shaving and stuff. Got to do a little bit of cleanup, but overall, and
It
then
happens.
yeah, nothing I'm not used to, but being that this is my first CO cast army, I was very hesitant, but it wasn't too bad. Here is the leader model. And let me get a close up of his face,
Aye.
because he has an eye patch.
Yarg.
I was about to say that.
It's
What? Pirates?
No, never. Not us. Not me. Never.
It's not National Talk Like a Pirate Day every day.
So
Is it?
September is International Talking Pirate Month.
So this one's pretty much, like I said, I got to do a little bit of, put some more primer on this boy, but nothing too bad. But there was some shaving that had needed to be done. I needed to take some shaving and carve out stuff so things could fit flat. Then of course the orcs all have their own cards too, just like everybody else. And for people that are kind of paying attention, here's the move. A 3/2 at 10 is a charge. How many wounds they have. This is their willpower stat, the morale, how many you're allowed to have in an army, and then all the base rules. And like I says, the bottom of the card is whenever they're attached to a unit. So you can cover all. They don't get any of this stuff when they're there. They only get this. So you just got to figure out how you want to play them and how you want to do them. And the thing is you don't have to attach them to the unit until you put them on the board.
That's nice.
And they can attach and detach as you play.
So yeah, you could be walking with him and the guy's like, no, fuck y'all, I'm going over here. And he can actually leave the unit if he wants.
He do what he want.
I do what I want.
So Albork is the high commander of this one, and he's a big meaty beat stick type thing. But so I'm gonna grab just like the standard guy, the troop that we have, and I was gonna tell you that. Let's see, where are they? Orc Hunters. They have a 3/2 movement. So when they move the first time, you put the 3 down and you move this to this. Simple, easy. That's all it is. And if you want to do another move, which is the 2, you put this in front of it and then move it here. That's it. That's how the movement goes in the game. If you want to charge, which their charge is the 3rd number, it's 10. That's when you use this stick and you put it here. Zoom out. Put it here. Put it here. That's 10. And if you're in base to base, you made your charge. So that's how it came to be. I like that you get cards. They did say they're going to do an army app, but I don't know. We don't know what's all going to be. It may just be an army builder. It may be, maybe you can use it to play, because it would be nice to have a bigger mat or a bigger thing so we could see stuff.
I do like having options for sure.
Yeah.
Options are good.
Because blind people with glasses that are blind can't see and need to zoom in.
Yeah. So I could, if I have it on my iPad and I can look at the stats of the card a little bit easier, because this is a little bit smaller text than what people are used to. Because the cards that we printed out were very, very big. But I
Mhm.
mean, tells you how many. Like if the unit's going to attack, this is the dice they roll. And if you get certain symbols, which are called switches, you can do certain things. And when a unit gets lower, their stats get worse, and they are not able to do certain things. But um, it'll be interesting. One of the concepts I really liked about this game is when two units fight each other. If I'm the aggressor with a hegemony and I fight the orcs, I roll to hit the orcs, but the orcs roll to defend, and it's a face-off roll. But they could actually do damage to me as a defender while I'm attacking them, which could technically make me lose the fight. And me losing the fight, they could actually cause stress to me and cause problems.
You
One of the
can
things,
get your face beat in, yes.
yes, you can get your face beat in by being the aggressor, especially if you don't play it all correctly and do things the correct way.
And sometimes it just comes down to the dice.
Oh yeah, yeah, because the dice, they're not swingy, but because the thing is it's a face-off roll and you're doing things, and um, the cool thing about it, when I'm attacking someone and like Mizzy's defending, we roll our dice and then we choose what are called switches. Like, oh, I'm going to spend this symbol and this symbol to do this, which means, for example, let's go with the orcs. When the orcs are attacking, if they roll 2 exclamation points, the target receives a vulnerable state. So, they get their vulnerable state. If they're defending, if they roll an open shield, they do 1 damage to them. So they could do a damage to them as they're, defending. And it can get really stupid crazy with, so this is the leader. And when he rolls 2 open exclamation point, they get the vulnerable state. But if I stress them out, they get an exclamation point and a damage already. That's what this lightning bolt is stress. They can have up to 3 morale. But there's a lot of different things. All models have all different abilities. Certain things aren't in the game right now. Like this model has bloodlust against Vernick, which is the shapeshifters that are coming out. And so whenever those models are out, he has to charge up to that Vernick unit, and it's like kind of like he's got a bloodlust. He's like, I want to kill them and just go at him and kill them. So he's got to get into it. And then leader, and then different things. And they tell you who he's allowed to join, the Buckleman or the Bulwark type stuff. So overall, models, I give them about an A out of like A plus, because there was a lot of carving I had to do on some of them to get them to fit, but they weren't bad. Detail's really, really good. I'm really impressed with the detail. I'm happy with the detail, but and COCast is very easy to scrape and carve out, so you can get that good comfortable fit. But I'm worried about breakage, like on the swords and anything thin. So time was only going to tell. I mean, the elf, this, his staff, how thin that piece is. I actually glued it down to the base, so it would have a little bit more sturdy, so it wouldn't be flopping around. I mean, if you look at the bendability of this, I'm afraid that that's going to snap eventually if I'm too rough with it.
How would you rate these models if you were a beginner model person, like, and you're not as experienced?
They might be a little tough, because you're going to put them together, and there is no instructions, by the way. So you just have to, and they're fairly simple. You can tell, where things go just because it's an arm and a head. So it's not hard to put them together. Mm-hmm. They're not like huge. And if you look at a picture, you're able to do it. But you definitely have to scrape and kind of, sculpt to make it fit really well. I wouldn't use these. If you were going to be doing like a competition piece with them, you would definitely be, really scraping and really gap filling. But if you're just playing with them, not a problem.
Cool.
So shouldn't be too much. But like I said, my concern with the models right now is these swords breaking on the models because, like I said, one of the orc swords broke, glued it on, no big deal. But it could be, kind of flimsy. I mean, so take this one. This is your basic troop. Let's do this. This is your commander for the hegemony unit, and here's the commander for the orc unit. So, I mean, the
Okay.
orcs are much beefier and everything because they're orcs.
They beefy boys.
Yeah. But of course, the humans are much thinner and their weapons are much thinner. I mean,
Mhm.
just check out the handle of the axe and the thickness of the axe compared to the sword's thickness is, very, very thin.
Yeah.
So, not bad. Like I says, I'm concerned, but it's not something I'm not used to. So we'll have to just wait and see how it comes out. So, with that said, does anybody have any questions? We almost used our entire time up talking about this crap.
Yeah. It's because it's a really interesting game, and I'm excited for it.
And there's a lot of models.
Yeah, there was a lot of models. Like I said, there's not anything. Like I said, I'm not overly concerned. Just we're gonna have to be, you're gonna have to be careful with stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and just being, the thinness of the blades is where I have a concern.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get some primer on this thing right here. Mizzy and I, of course, have played the game. We like the rule sets. We like everything. It's going to be much easier now that we have the dice.
Yes.
Because we won't have to look at stuff as much. But
Don't have to roll dice and then look at the sheet. Okay, I got a 1, so that matches to this.
yeah.
What does mean?
Yeah. What does this one mean on this one?
Translate.
So I mean, like I said, it wasn't bad. The models aren't bad. They're just you're gonna have to be careful with some stuff. I'm gonna try to get the primer on this model real quick.
It's really exciting that it's more narrative driven as well.
Yeah, they did say that they are gonna have a tournament scenario pack type thing that they're gonna do, but they're really pushing the narrative theme of the game, which I'm like really cool on because that means it gets other people doing stuff. And I don't want to say it caters to that crowd, but if you're not really into the tournament scene and you just want to do cool stories, they're there for it. So I'm like even better.
Yes.
And like I said, the first one we're doing is we'll do the narrative in the book, so we can get that out, and we'll do that one in the introductory, and we'll report on it so we can everybody can see and hear about it, and we'll do a report on it. But that's our first thing we're gonna do.
For the Northern Tribes.
So
Warg.
I am buying the hegemony, but it is not going to be my army of choice. I will be buying the elves, the wood elves, because they are shenanigan movie fasty type models. They did give
so elves.
Yeah, they did give a breakdown of the factions and how they play and such, and the elves really are my play style, so no big deal.
They speak to your soul and bring joy.
Yeah, and I've been a wood elf player for a long time, so. Let's switch over to the media section, even though we're not in the media, because I want to talk about us helping each other out real quick. We got about 10 or so minutes for that, so no big deal.
We got 6 minutes.
All the camera movement. The hoodoo.
Hoodoo. Pirate
Do what?
hoodoo.
Zaboomafoo?
You remind me of the babe.
The babe with the power.
What babe?
The babe with the power. So something has been, we've got a lot of shitty things happening in the world, and a lot of, we're in a political arena type thing, and it's a voting year, and so one of the things that people are really stressed out during this time, and I wanted to bring up something about community that we should all be looking at. All of us, like to feel safe. All of us like to do things. And one of the things that came about is hang out with your friends. Now, we all have friends that are online. We all have friends that, we can't physically be with. But, sometimes we just got to do things for them. Um, and something that came up, and I always want to try to do what I can for my friends. And if it's something simple and easy, especially if it's not monetarily, nerd, I love you, but I'm not flying out to hang out with you for a weekend and then flying back. I just can't, that's
Would I love to? Absolutely.
correct.
But I am a broke bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I totally get it. As a broke bitch, I totally get it.
But the things
As a
we
fellow
can
broke
do,
bitch, there we go.
but the things we can do is we can get together, we can hang out on stream, we can hang out on, we do our podcast, we
Mhm.
could, you could say, hey, I want to run a game. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm not a Jaxbox person, but if I know that you need someone to hang out with and do Jaxbox shit, I'm going to do it, even though it's not my thing. So I'm like, because that's what we do for each other. We're supposed to be looking out for each other. We're supposed to help each other out. And sometimes it's the smallest, stupidest shit that helps out. Like I said,
Yep.
just hanging out with you, doing, Jaxbox or a one shot. We did the one shot, as our, our special episode, but, I wanted to play, you wanted to run a one shot, and it's something we can do together without having to worry about it.
Yeah.
And it's not anything bad or horrible. Um,
You need to get Gonzo on Junktopia.
Oh man,
You
Gonzo
would
coming up with
love
backstories.
Junktopia.
You would. It's one of the Jackbox games. You literally, it's antiques. It's Fantasy Antiques Roadshow, and you're trying to sell an item and come up with crazy backstories for them.
yeah, and see, here's the thing. This is stuff that, and the thing, it's not going to cost me any money.
Mhm.
If I have the time, I can go do it. So I mean, example, my guild that I'm with in Final Fantasy, they're like, hey, we're gonna do an extreme raid next week, and it's during the podcast. I'm like, sorry, can't go. I mean, the
Yeah.
podcast, so. But I mean, if you're like, you know, maybe Wednesday night, one of our hangouts, you and I can do some stupid, Jackbox stuff because it's something that you enjoy, and it's not giving. I'm not paying a shit ton of money. I'm spending a little bit of time with you. I'm just hanging out. I'm just doing that little extra that even if I don't like the game, it's not like it's gonna kill me to spend, an hour or two with you doing something that I usually don't do, but it's something that, might, it'll brighten your day, it'll make you happy, it'll
Happy
do that.
chemicals.
Yeah, type thing. I mean, it's like also watching a TV show. I'm gonna call out. I'm not gonna call out somebody, but I'm like, watch this show, but it's not my thing. But the person that you sit next to is their thing, and sometimes it's just you sitting there next to them while you're watching the show that does and gets those chemicals going, um,
D.
type thing. Now you got to coordinate. We're all stupid busy adulting type stuff, but we really need to
What?
start, you know, if I can if if I can do something for you in an hour or two and it's not going to break my bank or it's not going to, and it's done in the right type of thing, I'm going to do it. I mean, that's something we need to start doing and start talking about. Um, we're all fucking lonely, whether we like it or not. We all want to do things with friends. We have a ton of friends that are out in the middle of nowhere, or even people I'm friends with that are like an hour away, hanging out on camera, painting miniatures. We all need to get together and do this stuff, and we should probably all give a little bit more to our people and
Joining
hang out
a
about.
D&D game last minute when other people don't show up, and then you're like, oh, I signed up to a streaming game. No regrets.
Yeah, but I mean,
You signed up to a streaming game? What?
I know.
that's something that I think that that we all that And like I said, I'm not telling people, hey, you need to go spend, $300 to go buy someone a miniature. But if someone wants to play a game and I have the miniatures already, and I know that this person wants to play this game, I'm going to give them a little bit of happiness and do that because there's no need for me not to. One, I'm playing a game. Two, I get to hang out with somebody and not sit on my ass at home and do it. Even if it's me sitting on stream with people.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's my guild that I'm in. They spend one night out of the week and they watch a movie all together, type thing.
That sounds like so much fun. Doing Labyrinth the other night just for
That was
a friend's
great.
birthday was amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said,
And-
real life takes precedence over what you can do. But I mean, if I could hang out with people and just watch a movie and just chill, because I could paint a miniature and watch a movie with somebody.
Oh yeah, easy.
Oh,
I could hobby and watch a movie with somebody, type thing. So, Mizzy,
king of multitasking over there.
Yeah. You were about to say something about this, but go ahead.
Was I going to? I don't remember what I was going to say.
Hey, brain weasels.
Squirrels.
I had that pretty bad this week too. I was like, oh, I need to do this. Wait, what's this? Oh crap, I was supposed to look up something. What was I supposed to look up? And I still don't remember what I was supposed to look up.
Yeah.
But
It'll hit you.
no, it's gone. Long gone. But we also wanted to talk about, I know we're going a little bit into the media section, things about stuff that's going on with More Than Dice. We're going to be doing, of course, stuff like this. We're going to still do the podcast, but we may interrupt some podcasts to do some, gaming with y'all, or to do some one shots. Because Nerd's going to say she's going to run about 45 more one shots for Mizzy and I. But we're gonna.
That is a look of a grumpy toad. I recognize it because it is me. I am grumpy toad.
But it's not just gonna be the podcast from here on out. Well, we're gonna be adding some more things. We're still gonna do a Wednesday hangout where we get together and either I'm gonna play a game or paint miniatures. There'll probably be miniatures this week, so I want to paint up my hegemony stuff, so it's there. But I definitely we're going to add some more repertoire to it, some more one shots, invite some other people on just to do some stuff, just to have some more fun. Topics that we get through, we can go over multiple topics when things come out. And we're like, great, the Warcrow stuff come out. Hopefully some more people pick it up. I think it's a great game. I think it's a fun game. I think it's pretty interesting. The rules are really good. The rules are free online if you want to go and look at them, by the way. So you can download the PDF.
The best foods for gaming are the ones in my mouth.
So a little bit of good phrasing there.
You're welcome, nerd.
But we're going to be adding a little bit more variety to the show. We're not going to do battle reports. Mizzy and I will probably do what we call battle stories. We'll talk about our game and show pictures of everything, but we're not going to show us playing it and video of it. But we'll like one day, I think Mizzy and I are going to go and do all the scenarios and then do a More Than Dice episode on just all of our scenarios. So we can talk about start to finish type thing. So, that type of thing. So we can get a little bit more variety, have a little more fun. We got some sponsors and stuff coming through, so we'll be doing some giveaways. So hang out, hang chill type thing. So let's get to the media section, because I know that y'all have 7 apiece. I only have 1.
Half of mine are trailers because Comic-Con.
Yep.
I watched about 30 minutes of trailers and I only remember 2 of them.
Most of them weren't new, or half of them I didn't care about, but I did watch a couple of new ones and a leaked one today.
Uh-oh. Yeah, there's leaking. And stuff.
Fantastic Four first steps.
Oh.
So let's go and do this. This is a spoiler on San Diego Comic-Con. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but you're going to see it. So close your ears, come back in 3 minutes, and you can.
There's already reels about it. It's hit the internet. Everyone is exploding.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So really new. the Avengers Kang got wiped out. They're no
Yes.
longer doing Avenger Kang. It's been rewritten to Avengers Doom because now they're going
Doomsday.
Doomsday, which they're doing Doctor Doom, which is great because he's a big supervillain, very big part in the Marvel universe, very big part of Fantastic Four. So everything's coming about. Which we found out who's going to be Doctor Doom, and it's Robert Downey Jr. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, same. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it, but I also am not like, yay!
Yeah,
Like,
for the
I'm
simple fact,
excited.
he,
It's
he,
just kind of, it
he,
is.
well, the thing is he's been Iron Man, Tony Stark for us for how many years?
And they're playing the whole multiverse card to
Yeah.
explain it. I'm just like, really?
Yeah,
Cookie's got a valid point.
At least it's not
At
Tom
least
Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yes.
Yeah. I don't. Is he going to do a good job? Yes. Is it going to take a while to get over Tony Stark? Yes. Type thing. It's not that it's not been done before. Take Johnny Storm and Captain America. So it's
that's
going to
not
take
even my problem. It's that you're recasting all of these people that have already played these parts. Are you doing it because they're the right person or because you just want to see them do it?
Yeah.
Well, it's like recasting the guy who played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron as Kraven the Hunter, but then also having the guy who played Quicksilver in the not MCU one,
Yeah.
in the X-Men one, come back to play a character pretending to be the MCU Quicksilver,
Yeah.
but turns out to not be.
Yeah,
Like,
it's going to be then. Xander makes a good point. If we don't see his face, it's going to be even better, which we shouldn't see his face. We shouldn't see Doom's face. That's kind of the kicker. The thing about the character. Hopefully we don't. So
You're not wrong, Cookie.
Not that big of a deal. Hopefully it's going to be
It's
good.
America's ass. Let's see. What other trailers did I see? Alien Romulus.
Alien Romulus.
Not Comic-Con, but that's a new trailer that came out that I'm very excited. I did see the Comic-Con Hellboy Crooked Man trailer, which makes it look even better than the original trailer did, because I wasn't super excited about the new Hellboy, but I understand that they're taking it more into that horror genre.
Yes.
But the look of Hellboy isn't quite what I wanted.
Well, it's a younger version of Hellboy. So he's a young demon, I guess you want to say.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit thinner. Yeah, it's not big and bulky. Which is okay. For people that know, the Crooked Man is one of the most popular stories in Hellboy, and that's the reason why they're doing it. And it is a horror themed. Definitely not Ron Perlman, but it looks good. But it is one of the best stories that Hellboy's done. So hopefully they do it justice. I'm looking forward to it because it takes it to the dark side.
Yeah. And same with Alien Romulus, is they're going back to that horror genre with it. And this one's supposed to take place between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping they're not showing all of the deaths already in the trailer.
Yeah. Because a lot of people look like they're dying in that one.
And then I saw Rings of Power Season 2 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have your opinions on that. I'm excited.
I like it.
Okay, I couldn't remember who did and didn't like Rings of Power.
I do not have an opinion.
You have not seen it?
No.
Or you just don't have one?
I just don't have an opinion because I have not seen it.
Okay, that's fair.
What other trailer?
But yeah, that's got me excited. That comes out the end of next month, so be prepared for Gonzo and I to be talking about that.
Yep.
Let's see. I can start with stuff I actually like, actual stuff I watched.
Okay, let's start. You go with the first one you watched.
I checked out I watched the first episode of Those About to Die, which is the new Anthony Hopkins Roman Emperor Gladiator show. I couldn't get into it. I tried. It was boring. Especially and that's the other thing, the Gladiator 2 trailer.
Yeah,
Oh God.
When I watched that with you on stream the other night, I was just like, oh, why?
that
It's
was one of the
exploring.
yeah, that was one
But
of the
like,
ones
I
that
don't.
I got at the
What is
theater.
like? There's so many cool parts about that part of history. Like, can we talk about something other than gladiators?
Nope.
Because like the whole show, Those About to Die, is about gladiators and like the politics around the gladiator rings and stuff like that. And I'm like, eh. So for the first episode, I give it like a 3 because I see that it has potential. It's got a good cast, but I just don't care.
No dams were given.
Nope. Yep. This is the field in which my fucks are grown. See that it is barren.
Yeah. I did watch a movie that you watched, nerd, because it came on
Oh?
Netflix. The new Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire
Yes.
came out, and so I watched it because I wanted to see it, and I'm a Ghostbuster fan. You know, blah blah blah. I'm taking issues with this. There is too much trying to push nostalgia in this show. Um, they did not need all the nostalgia in it. They did
No.
not need the old characters in it. If they
No.
would have kept it to the original, the new Ghostbuster cast, it'd have been a whole better show, in my opinion. Was it a bad movie? No. Was it horrible? No. Do I think it would have been better if they would have just kept the new Ghostbusters doing their thing? Yes. We didn't need all these people coming back to play their roles again. None at
Yeah.
all. At all. None.
Cameos were cute but unnecessary.
The thing is, they weren't just cameos. They were
That's true.
full-fledged roles.
That's true. Ray is very much in there.
All of them are. All of them do every. I mean, they're all in there, and I'm like, guys, you could have had them, small bets and just walked away. Didn't need all this stuff that came with it. I was like very much not happy with it. Like I said, I think if they would have made it its own show with the newer version of the Ghostbusters, it'd have been a whole lot better. But Xander makes it nostalgia is overly done right now, and it is everybody's trying to get people in the theaters, and they're grasping at everything they can to get people in the theaters. So
Yeah.
And I give it my 2.5. It was meh, just meh. Mizzy?
I started a new show. Well,
Which one?
it's a new to me show. Solar Opposites.
Oh, that's from
It's-
the guys who did Rick and Morty.
Uh-huh. I
Okay.
think I like this better than Rick and Morty.
I've heard that a lot, especially
So-
for people who aren't that big into Rick and Morty.
I watched the what was it? It's their they had 3 specials. It's their Christmas, their Valentine's, and then another event that I cannot remember right now. But they were really freaking good. And then I started watching the actual show in season 1, and I want to keep watching.
It got
Cool.
renewed. So
It's a lot of shenanigans. It's wildly inappropriate in some parts, but it's so good. It is definitely one of those shows that I can go back to if I'm just having a low brain day and I just need to chill. But I can still have fun with it. So, not going to give it a full rating yet, but I'm here for it. Nerd should watch it.
What's it on Hulu?
Hulu and or Disney Plus.
Yeah, we've got same thing
'Cause-
nowadays.
Same but different.
6 of one, a half dozen of the other.
Branding.
nerd?
I am. Let's see, how many episodes in? I am however many episodes into season 2 of House of Dragon. I'm caught up.
Okay.
Gotta watch tonight's episode.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked season 1 better, but we are getting to see more dragons.
Yes. I'm with you on that one.
Plot wise, especially with the way that they ended the last episode, one of the last episodes. I feel like we've seen some of this play out before, and it's just a rehash of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I give it like 1.5
Yeah, I'm
because
pretty
I
much you.
definitely liked season 1 better
Yeah,
in terms of the story.
yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, so another new show came out this week, and not a new show, a new season came out, and I watched and binged the entire season of Dragon Prince, season
Oh,
6.
jealous.
I will get there sooner rather than later.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I will get there sooner rather than later.
Um,
It
so
will not be as long this time.
it's only like 8 episodes, and of course, it's only like 23 to 30-minute episodes, so it's an easy binge type thing. Very much another, I wouldn't say world building, but there is world building in this with new type of races and new type of worlds, new type of places. There are some moments in this that have actually solidified character stories, which is good. Um, there's a couple of oh shit moments, and then the ending is a big oh shit moment at the end of the season. Um, the babies are in it again, just so you know. So you've got all the babies again. They've all got names now, so you can all have all the stuff. You'll enjoy that. I enjoyed it. It was good. I'm looking forward to the last season. I think the next season is the last season. But there is some feel moments in there, which is good because they pull at some heartstrings, and then there's some finally it's about damn time moments in this. So I enjoyed it. I really would love if someone would run a Dragon Prince role playing game for us so we could play it because it was really cool and they have the rules. Mizzy, what's your next one? Overall, I give it a 1.
Nerd space right now.
I want to play my gambler.
Shit, what is my next one?
You want to talk Deadpool?
Yeah, let's talk Deadpool.
Okay, so this is a spoiler free. So we're not gonna spoil the movie. We're not gonna spoil anything happen. We're gonna give our thoughts and how we feel about everything. So the movie is a little over 2 hours long. By the way, there's 2 after credit scenes. There's one.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. I always tell people in that there's one that's like right after the credits start, and then one at the very end. So sit through the whole thing.
Yes.
The best way to describe this Deadpool movie is this is nerd porn written as a Harlequin romance, and you're having an orgasm the entire way through it. And that is the best way to put this.
You almost got me to snort there. My God.
This
It's not wrong.
This show.
But that is the best description that I have heard of a movie ever.
I actually teared up 3 times because Ryan writes and puts scenes in there that the fans have been asking for since we were children, and things that we've been asking for since we were children, and things we've been asking for since they started doing movies, and characters that are not just I kill things. They put back and heart to those characters. There are 3 scenes in there that I tear up in, and there's after an after credit scene when they do the mid credit scenes where somebody says something and I tear up, and I'm just like, because this is stuff that I've been asking for and I've been looking forward to as a kid all my life. And to see Wolverine go ball shit ape crazy killing things the way that he did in the comics, thank you. And that's the best way to put it. Ryan Reynolds, I mean, it is your typical Deadpool shenanigans, fourth wall breaking, but he gave us some of the best and things that we've wanted our entire life in a Wolverine Deadpool movie.
Nice.
Multiversing all into this type thing. If you watch the Loki TV show, you'll catch on really quick on the multiverse stuff. If you haven't, you'll kind of catch on because I do describe it a bit. But
It's definitely better if you have watched Loki.
yeah.
So you have that basis, but it's not necessary. Now, from the standpoint of not being a mega nerd like Gonzo, I can still appreciate the effort that they did and put into this thing. Like, I didn't like uber fangirl over everything, but much like Gonzo did,
Man.
which no judgment at all. Like, if I was on that level, I'd be right there with you, type thing. But it was beautiful. I loved it. Every second of it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
awesome.
There are things that they put in that movie that I want more of, and I don't know if I'm going to get more of, but I want them.
and we're not going to spoil it, but there a lot of the things that made me fuck yeah through the movie were spoilers. So that's something that we can't,
Yes.
I can't talk about. Now, after
we will gush about it after I watch it, and we'll gush about it in Discord.
Watch it.
Then
I was supposed to go today, but the husband got sick.
we will eventually do a spoiler version of this once it's been out in the theaters a little bit and people have seen it. I fully believe that this is the movie that got people back into the movies. So
yeah.
Yes, Xander, I lost my shit because I have a thing.
Dog pool.
Yeah.
It's part pug. Y'all know how I am about them little fuckers. I love them so much.
That was how you really feel, Missy.
I love them.
This was, you can tell this is a fan that wrote something for the fans, but did it well and did it right. It wasn't pandering. It wasn't bullshit. It was fucking amazing. This one right now, I mean, I've seen it twice. I saw it on Friday so I could see it by myself, so I wouldn't get spoiled by anything. Then I saw it today, so I could see it with family members. And I didn't miss anything, but there are a lot of Easter eggs in this.
I'm sure. I'll be watching breakdowns after a while.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good thing in this. This thing gets a 0 from me. It's one of my top superhero movies out there. It didn't give me the feels like no Spider-Man No Way Home, but it definitely gave me the my pants tightening type thing. This was this was a nerd fan orgasm through the entire thing. So I mean, it was great. I appreciate it. I know Ryan Reynolds isn't listening. I know the team doesn't listen, but thank you for this amazing movie.
Thanks for the nerd porn.
Yep, very much so. And it cracks me up because some of the lines in there, he even realizes it, and he even says it. Nerds, get ready, and you're there because they gave us stuff that we've been asking for many years.
Nice.
Nerd, do you want to go with something else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. I can go with another one. And this one, Sweet Home finished the last season of Sweet Home. It's been on Netflix. It's 3 seasons. It starts, I think it's a Korean show where it's kind of a post-apocalyptic. Instead of zombies, you get monsters. And season 3 was the ending of this. It was okay. The entire series is not bad. Season 2 was not the best. Season 3 got better, but they gave it an ending, and so I was okay with that. I enjoyed it. It's something different to watch. If you got nothing and you want to try something out, season 1 I think is the best season, but it was pretty good. And then season 2 is man. Season 3 was okay. So overall, I give it like 2 space herpes. So not bad, but definitely watchable. Mizzy, do you have anything?
I am going to rate my experience Friday night watching Labyrinth with friends.
Yes. I can.
Was this your first time watching it?
No.
No, but it was somebody's first time watching it.
But the experience of watching it with this group of people was a first.
Oh, okay.
And it was glorious.
We were singing along. We were talking about behind the scenes stuff. There was a lot of comments made about David Bowie's package.
Oh, of course.
Fun fact, potpourri is the bulge.
He was sweaty and thought he smelled bad, so he stuffed a sachet of potpourri down there, and they liked it, so they kept it.
The more you know.
The more you know.
All right. So what else?
I loved just being able to hang out and chill with my friends and have a good time. And, sing and dance and be goofy, or rather, I was just chilling over here because chill.
That's how you do.
It'd be like that. But it's just so nice to watch a classic movie with your friends, doing what you need to do, having a good time.
Yep.
So.
Anything
else?
Yeah, I did finish Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai is of course on Netflix. They're splitting the season up into 2 blocks, which is what Netflix is known for. They're going to split all seasons pretty much up into any big name things. They're going to split them up into 2 seasons to keep you subscribing. And so the first part of the last season happened, and it's not bad, but you can definitely tell that they're grasping at straws to get this story finished and over. I mean, how many major, karate tournaments can we have? How many times can we, get, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and I'm glad they're ending it. So let's end it. Let's get it a good, good story. Let it end, get out of here, and say goodbye. Because overall, it's been a great series and it's been good and fun and good nostalgia and stuff. But it's, it's definitely time to end it. So we'll have to wait and see how everything goes when the second half of the season comes out. I'll give a final rating, but so far it's okay. Mizzy, you got anything else?
Not that I can think of right now. No.
Okay. I am watching Alone, which is on the History Channel, I think is what it is. Right. It's where they put people out in the woods and tell them they got to survive. And, if you can't survive, call me and you can get brought back in. No camera crew. They have to film their own stuff. And I like it because I like to see the survival techniques. I like to see people, what they can do. And it's also, some people are like, oh, I could survive out here. This one person was like, oh, I can survive out here forever. But I'm lonely as shit. And I miss my family. I'm going home type thing. And you don't understand how isolated you are until you're isolated type thing. So it's not only the survival stuff, but, people are like, I could keep doing this, but not worth it. Some people are like, I can't keep doing this because I can't get food. I can't get water. I can't keep a fire, and they're like, you got to do that. And so in the show, by the way, they have to do a health check on them every so often, and they make a medical decision whether this person can stay out in the field or not. So it's all out there. So you got to, you have to just see it and everything. But I enjoy it. It's very entertaining. 1, to see people actually try to survive. 2, to see how they survive. And, they're actually in the Arctic Circle right now. So, wow. they're about to hit, wintertime. So they're going to have to stock up on their food because the lakes are going to be frozen and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it'll get done and we can, nobody gets. There was one guy that actually tripped and fell, and his arrowhead went into his thigh, and was very close to hitting the major artery, and he was like, shit, I have to, and he's like, I have to call out. They have a satellite phone they have to take with them wherever they go, so they can call to, hey, come and get me. And he's like, got it all bandaged up. It went really deep into his thigh, so that could have ended really bad. So, but I enjoy it. It'll be interesting to see or whatever. I think that was
I give one more quick one that I forgot about that I watched in Chicago.
All right.
Rewatched Jumanji, the original.
Okay.
The original. It had been forever since I'd actually watched the beginning of the movie, and watched it all the way through. But it again, like Mizzy said with Labyrinth, watching it with friends, because there was 10 of us there, watching this, and some people hadn't seen it. It was really cool going back and just hearing people talk about the different special effects of the creatures or what, just everybody's commentary on it, and it was a lot of fun. Still gets zero space herpes. It's a classic.
Here for it.
Yeet.
I was actually checking out some Prime games that I get for free with my sub, and I found Cat Quest 2 and
Oh,
Forager.
yep, I got it.
So I'm going to be checking those out, and maybe I'll talk about those because they look super cute. And Cat Quest.
Kids.
Well, guys, that is our show. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching on all of our aspects. Definitely, like I said, if you have any Warcrow questions, reach out to us. We can answer whatever. You can definitely get the rules for free. I'm going to be working on the models going forward, and Mizzy's going to be working on hers. We'll get some battle stories going so you can kind of get a better clue of what's going on and everything. Other than that, please take care of yourself. Please look after each other. Go and hang out with each other. If somebody says they need something and it's something that's easily done, just do it. And it's, like I said, I love Nerd. I'm not flying out to hang out with her, but I'll definitely, if she needs me to be on Jackbox, I'll be on Jackbox because that's what we need to do for each other. Right.
We got to get him to play Gartic Phone.
Yes.
So,
you don't know what you just signed up for.
Remember, people, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something, do something. If you can't, find somebody that will, because we need to look after each other. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
I'm Mizzy.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/morethandice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.